Hello, my YouTube viewers. This is your boy again, Zulu Boy Mechanic. So with me here, I have online Acura MDX 3.7 engine. This engine is going onto one of the cars outside. I just got this engine from Auto Wreckers. Paid about just over $1,000. They said the engine hit about 180,000 K. So here I am. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you quickly what I'm about to do is timing, changing timing belt, water pump, tensioners, and all those fun stuff. So I have this engine out, of course. I haven't installed it yet. Alright, so what I've done here, I've actually gone ahead and put this thing on top dead center. That's going with the number 1 cylinder. So as you can see right at the top, you've got the 2 cams right there, and there's another one, and there's my crank down there, and that's the water pump. That's the tensioner, one of the idlers right there. So going off the crank right there, I've actually lined it, and this one is lined as well, and that one is lined. So my next step, of course, once you have everything lined like this, is to remove release the tensioner. So the tensioner is right there. It's a hydraulic tensioner. As you can see, it's starting to leak. The hydraulic or the fluid inside is starting to leak, so that means it's time for it to change. So I'm gonna let that go, and then the belt becomes free. So I'll try doing this with the other hand holding the camera. Okay, so there you go, and you can see my belt just lost its tension. And I mean, for those who are beginners, you might want to take a picture, but of course, if you have done it before, you can just memorize, you can just look at it, and you remember how things run. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take this belt off. Okay, so right here, I still have that washer in place, so I won't be able to pull this belt out, and I have this bracket that keeps the crank sensor in place. So I have to release that. Okay, that's out. It also helps to hold the belt in place when you're installing it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and remove the big 19mm bolt. There you go. Let's put it down. There you go. Okay, so the belt is out. It's a genuine original from Honda, so it's still a good belt. It could have actually gone for probably another few thousand K, but anyways, the customer wants this replaced, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the job. And I have the parts right there. I think I have a Continental kit that's from Rock Auto. You can buy them from online, fairly cheap compared to what you would pay at Honda. Okay, so the next step here is to remove the water pump, remove the whole kit for the tensioner, and then remove this idler, clean it, and then install everything back, install the belt, install the covers, and then the job will be done. So let me see if I can put that on camera for you. All right, so I got the water pump out right there. I think it's held about how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. And try to always count your bolts before trying to pry anything, especially when it comes to the engine head or block. It's very, very crucial that you count the bolts or nuts that you're removing. Okay, so that's out, and the tensioner is out, and that's out, and the idler is out as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little bit cleaning. It's just the surface where the gasket sits. And I have some brake clean here. That's okay if it goes in. This just dries up anyway, so you don't have to panic. All right, so just a heads up, in the event that the timing marks do move off the line, you can actually turn this, but you have to be very careful. You can turn it slightly to line it individually. Of course, you don't have a belt right now, so you have to keep that in mind. This one, you can see I'm slightly off, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that just to put it back in position, and that one too. Make sure everything is lined perfectly, or else you're gonna have an issue with the timing. Your car will still start because it's not much off in terms of degrees, but you will have sometimes, especially if it's a half degree off or 1 degree off, you have a cord which you cannot clear. It doesn't matter how many times, what scan tool you use, until you go back again and reposition everything perfect. Your car will drive fine, there won't be any issues if it's off just by half or a tooth. However, the check engine light won't go away, so keep that in mind as you do this, as you are cleaning things around. Things do move, so make sure you always double check as you're installing the new belt. So my next step right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put the water pump. I'm not going to bother with the seals because they're still good, and I could go ahead and change them, but I'm just going to leave them and go ahead, dry this and put the water pump back and the tension and all that kind of stuff. All right, so new parts, they're on now. So there's a new water pump. There's the part of the tensioner, and that's the tensioner right there. So the torque spec on these two here, I think they say about 20 foot-pounds. It's not much, so you want to be very careful. I've seen these ones, especially this pulley here on Honda Civic. I've seen them actually destroyed in the past. I'm assuming it's because of over talking or not following the specs. If you're not comfortable just doing without the torque wrench, I would say do get one and just follow the instructions. And the good thing is these belts, they do come with a manual on how to do the job, step by step. and it also tells you this kit would apply on Ridgeline, Pilot, Odyssey, Accord, TL, MDX, engine 3.0, 3.2, 3.5, 3.7. They're all use the same belt, and also the routing of the belt is the same. And as for the torque spec, right there, so tensioner mount bolt says 19, so you want to follow that, or else you can damage your engine, so be careful. So my next step now is just putting the belt back. I'll show you once the belt is on. Alright, so I got everything back in place here. So I have the belt in place. I've actually gone ahead and pulled the pin for the tensioner, so everything's under pressure. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to double check my timing marks just to make sure everything still lines perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn the engine 2 times. Alright, so I'm just going right now. Lots of compression on this engine. Alright, so that cam is coming closer, so I want to make sure it lines right there. Okay, so both of them, the cams are lined, and the crank right here. I'm going with this, let me just show you. I'm going with this tooth right there, coming right there. That's my mark. Okay, so everything is lined. Always do it 2 times. So I'm just going to turn it again just to make sure, because you don't want to cover things up and then install the engine on the car, or put the covers and then go to start the car and it's off. You don't want to go back there. Alright, so I'm coming right there. There you go. So that's perfectly lined, and that's perfectly lined, and that's lined as well. So my job is almost done here. When it's on the floor, honestly, about an hour job, or even less if you know what you're doing. There's not much. Everything is right there in front of you. Okay, so right now I'm just going to go ahead and put the covers, and I'll show you once the covers are on, and that'll be the end of the video. Okay. Alright, so the 3 covers are back on. Of course, I'm gonna do some cleaning of the covers outside. Inside they're clean, there's no oil at all, so I'll do that. Then my last final step here is to put this harmonic balance back in place. Just keep in mind that the key doesn't fall off. You want to make sure that key is there, or else you ain't going nowhere. So alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this. Okay, that's in place, and then just put the bolt. It's a 19. Got this socket here which counter the weights of the harmonic, so I don't have to use the old school tool, which I'll show you. Most people still use it, I don't know, but I haven't used this for a few years now. Still works, still does the job. Put it in there, and then you'd put a breaker bar to hold the crank from turning, and then you can go ahead with your 19mm socket. But with this one, when you're taking it off, it does the job. You don't need any breaker bar or anything, just use the impact. All right, so anyways, that's the end of it. I know it's not the greatest video, but at least it gives you an idea of what I was trying to explain. And thank you so much for watching my videos. May God bless you.